The following program is brought to you by Naleo TV, the People's Platform.
Keeping our island community informed and secure. Be alert, be aware, and care. Together we can have a safe Hawaii.
Aloha, and welcome to the Personal Preparedness Podcast. I'm Adam Weintraub with Hawaii County Civil Defense, and this is December 2025. This month marks the one-year anniversary of the current series of volcanic eruptions on Kīlauea, assuming that nothing drastic has occurred between the day we're recording this and December 23rd, which is the actual anniversary. This is, depending on your perspective, a marvel of nature with spiritual overtones, an opportunity for scientific investigation, a boon to tourism, or a big pain in the neck for highway traffic on certain days. It's also a fascinating real-time education into how volcanic activity changes over time, and a reminder that there are some distinct hazards that come with living on a volcano or five. Joining us today to talk about Kīlauea and its 37 episodes of lava fountaining and other marvels so far is Ken Hahn. Dr. Hahn is volcanologist, a former geology professor at Hilo. He also has served since 2021 as the scientist in charge at the Hawaiian Volcano Observatory, which is part of the U.S. Geological Survey. Thank you for stopping by and joining us today, Ken.
Thanks for having me, Adam.
Glad to do it. What can you tell us today about the ongoing activity at Kīlauea, and what kinds of changes have we seen since the start of the eruption last year?
Well, I think your little introductory summary is really a good summary of how it's impacted people on the island. And from our viewpoint, I mean, clearly it's of a great scientific interest. It's also a beautiful and amazing display of nature that people, who don't live here don't get to see very often. And then more importantly, I think it keeps it fresh in our mind that we do live on a volcanic island. And there does present challenges at times to us being here. And so we just need to be prepared because it can change at a moment's notice.
So there was a while early in 2025 when it almost seemed like you could set your watch by the eruptive episodes. It was like every week to 10 day, boom, there was another quick 1 day sort of a eruptive episode that was confined to the summit caldera. It put on a great show. People oohed and ahed, and then it was done. And then a week later, they come back again, do it again. It was, you could set your watch by it, as I said. Now we seem to have seen a little bit more variability as the episode has progressed. Is that fair to say? And what can drive that?
Yeah, it has changed with time, just like anything does. It's not constant, but there's a couple of things that you need to set up one of these spectacular eruptions. You need to have a shallow magma body, and then you need to have these conduits that come to the surface that are straight like rifle barrels coming up to the surface. So that's really important, and have kind of a nozzle-like outlet. It has to be narrow at the top. And what that does is the small conduits force the lava to move up rapidly, faster than bubbles can form in the lava. And it's really akin to if you shake up a soda bottle and open the cap. As that soda rises to the top, those bubbles form and they force the soda out. And so we need to pressurize that lower system until it pushes out the older degas magma, and then it comes up through that conduit. Those vents have built up in height, so those conduits are getting bigger. And they're probably only on the order of somewhere between a couple thousand feet long or something like high. And so when we add these things, we've added several hundred feet to the top of them. That changes the amount of pressure. So it takes more pressure, more time, more magma has to accumulate. And then either the eruptions might last a little bit longer, or if there's both fountains going off at the same time, they can be quite short. So there's some variability in there. And none of it's a constant process, right?
you really don't have good visibility into how the changes from the previous eruption will affect the next eruption until that eruption actually occurs.
No, we can't. We're getting pretty good at forecasting a window of when the next fountaining episode will happen, and that's based on the pressure buildup. But that doesn't tell us anything about the conduit configuration. And we're still puzzled by, like, this last eruption. There were a number of precursory overflows from the southern vent, and over 100 of them. And then the next day, all of a sudden, there were 3 little overflows from the north vent, and then boom, the fountain happened out of the north vent. So, trying to even, decide on dominance and which vent is going to erupt is really difficult, even watching the process.
So at Civil Defense, we try and stay in close contact with HVO during any volcanic eruption because of the potential hazards. Obviously, we've been relieved that the eruptive activity at Kīlauea has stayed in the area of the summit so far, not moved out into the rift zones downslope where it's potentially more of a hazard to populated areas. Still, there have been some hazards that have been associated with the eruption. We talked about traffic. But of course, when we talk about hazards, we mean more things that can affect people more directly. What can you tell us about the kinds of hazards that this eruptive series has brought about?
Well, I think one of the primary differences between this and a lot of the other eruptions we've experienced on Kīlauea is those were much lower fountains, and they were also not as voluminous. So the amount of heat released is a lot lower. And so everything kind of rises and gets caught at the inversion level, which is about 8,000 feet or something like that. And the gas stays trapped under that, and everything stays underneath that. These things are extremely powerful. The fountains come up and they create a column of heat that rises. And we've seen these go up anywhere from 13,000 feet to 20,000 feet above ground level during the eruption. So they punch right through that inversion level. And then that way they can transport ash and sometimes fairly big clots of really lightweight pumice pretty good distances from the vent. And it also depends on the direction the wind is blowing, right? All of these things are heavily influenced by wind because they're very light. When we get winds that are coming out more of the east rather than the north, that's when the highway tends to see some of the tephra from these eruptions. But you also have to have a pretty big fountain to do that. The smaller fountains aren't pushing the column up high enough. But a lot of the fine ash and Pele's hair can drift in the wind for long distances. So we've seen that make it to communities that are well downwind around the south end of Mauna Loa. That can have an impact definitely on people. Nobody wants a bunch of little fine glass particles in their house or on their car or on their person, right? And then the other thing is that these produce a huge amount of gas during each one of those eruptions. And also in between eruptions, we're producing more gas than we were when there has been no eruptions prior to this. So there's a lot more VOG accumulating. And that has impacts on people's health, as well as what we just learned out of this one is we got reports that the effectiveness of people's solar systems out there is really decreased by as much as 50% during the
because of the chemical composition of the gases interferes with the absorption of sunlight in the solar systems.
Yeah, the gas is absorbing the sunlight, and so it doesn't get down to your solar cells.
And that's not one we've seen very much before, and that's a new area of secondary hazard to explore. You talked about tephra and particulates and not wanting to get them on your car. Obviously, if you have had ash fall, you want to remove that material from your vehicle because it can be very abrasive. You also, as I understand it, if you're downwind and you've got a catchment system for water supply, you want to take steps to avoid having those particulates get into your water supply. You may want to disconnect and flush. If anybody needs more, if you've got a catchment system, you're probably familiar with these procedures, but if anybody needs a refresher, I'd refer you to our website for Civil Defense. We'll put the link up on the screen and just follow the link to Volcano and follow for hazards. And you'll get some tips on how to ensure that your system is isolated from this gritty material that you would not want to ingest or put into your washing machine or any of those sorts of things.
Yeah, our crews, when they're out working, even when there is not an eruption, but out working in the tephra pile, we've had to modify what we normally do, and we generally wear full face masks now. So it's almost like scuba gear. We don't have it attached to an oxygen tank, but you have a face mask like that filters out the gas and then keeps your face completely clear of all the fine ash.
Is there an alternative that people who may not have access to that kind of gear can rely on if they're having problems with their home systems?
Well, I mean, this is for being right up in the eruption zone. So
Okay.
people that are at home aren't going to have the same problem.
So it's all thinned out by the time it gets to populated areas.
It
and
is, but
the traditional kinds of advice about keep your windows closed, run the air conditioning. If you need a moist towel over your face to protect you from the particulates, those still hold true if you're downwind from one of these episodes.
right. So face covering is a good thing.
Okay. That's about all the time we've got. We are coming to the end of 2025, a very eventful year with tsunamis and earthquakes and volcanic eruption. Ken, thank you for joining us. If you have questions, feel free to send them to us in advance, and we'll try and work them into another episode. You can reach us at civildefense@hawaiicounty.gov. And thank you for joining us today. This has been the Personal Preparedness Podcast. Happy New Year.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Fire Prevention Party. Okay, I am Battalion Chief Roy Henderson with the Hawaii Fire Department, and today another wonderful returning special guest. A returning special guest.
Everybody's been waiting for this.
I have been waiting myself, very much so. Yes, Mr. John Raquelman, our wonderful fire inspection one. Everybody, a round of applause. Oh, you guys clap weak. See, we have other inspectors in here not clapping. Very disappointed in them right now. Yeah. All right, so this episode is for the month of December, right? We're in the month of December right now. And so let's talk about the most important thing, Christmas.
Yes, very important.
Are you shopping already? Have you completed your shopping?
No.
What?
Oh, man, I'm behind.
It's freaking December.
I know.
Bro.
I should have been done by June.
But the thing is, if you buy it early, though, you got to hide it from your wife.
Yeah,
So, like, that's the hard part,
Really can't
'cause-
hide anything
Right.
from her, so
Right, yeah.
she can read me like a book.
Yeah, it's like, where are you hiding that? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so Christmas is here. You know, Christmas coming this month,
Yes.
right? Shopping is done. Wait, did you guys shop for the kids already too?
No.
In process.
Yeah, we did some. Yeah.
Some more like hiding the bigger
got
stuff.
a couple of weeks left. So.
Okay.
But yeah.
So everyone that's watching this episode, I want you, if you see him in public, I want you to walk up to him in Kate and go, "Hey, what you gonna buy your wife?" Okay.
Yes.
Follow up.
I need reminders.
I need reminders to ensure that I don't forget Christmas. Okay, awesome. Okay, so the shopping is done. Obviously, this month we've had at the county building, we're having Magic of the Season, so that's fun.
Yeah, it's going to be
right?
fun.
That's going to be
Yeah,
a good
check
one.
that one out.
We talked with Jordan last month, and we talked about our theme, which we're still not giving away.
You
gotta come down and see
almost
it.
give it away.
Dude, don't give it away.
Almost gave it away.
What if it's a couple of days before and people try to copy our idea at the last minute?
They might.
Yeah,
Because
I
we
don't
have
want them to.
wonderful ideas all the time.
We do have wonderful ideas. We do. Yeah. So it's going to be big. It's going to be fun again.
Yes.
Right? It's going to be fun again. Okay. So Christmas is great. But with Christmas, you know, the big thing we always talk about is kind of like our fire prevention theme in October was the lithium battery stuff.
Right.
You know, making sure you don't leave it on too long. Don't leave it plugged in. You know, be safe with it. So we went over all those tips in October,
using
right?
approved plugs and stuff.
Right. And so because so many kids are going to end up getting new toys with those types of batteries,
Yeah,
right?
a lot of toys are out there. All have lithium-ion batteries now. So,
I was thinking like hoverboards and stuff. You know?
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
But a
Yeah,
lot of
that's
those,
one.
a lot of those chargers don't have, and unfortunately, some of the less expensive products, I guess you can say, are the ones that they kind of get overrun, right? So
Yeah.
they don't have all the resistors in them to make them stop charging.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
No safety
so-
protection stuff.
Or it's like when you leave your iPhone on your desk too long and then you leave it plugged in, it gets hot, right?
Yeah, that means there's no overprotection on that. Yeah.
Right. So one of those things that we're always concerned about is, electrical safety during the holidays, the trees.
Oh
So
yeah,
we
trees
talked
is
about
a
trees.
big one. Yeah.
Right. So wait. Before we talk about trees,
Yes.
natural or plastic?
I kind of like natural because I think I like the smell
Wait,
of
are
it.
you guys into natural or plastic? If you tell me plastic, I'm gonna disown you guys. Are you guys into plastic trees? For real? Like in your house? Why? see, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Some people have no respect for tradition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No respect for tradition. Plastic tree. Why don't you get plastic dog? You know what I mean? While you're at, like, geez, Louise.
The
Okay.
remote control dog.
I've learned something about the people I work with today. And I can't say that I'm excited. I'm slightly disappointed people. Yeah. So plastic trees, plastic trees we know come with their own set of things. But when we do natural trees, so people like myself who actually buy a real tree every year. A real tree. Real trees. Yeah. So when we get a real tree,
Yes.
what are some of the safety things that we got to worry about?
So make sure they're thoroughly watered every
Mhm.
day and change them out, and to keep it fresh and clean.
Right.
And, kind of like alive, I guess you
Yeah,
could say.
keep it alive.
Just
Keep it alive.
because we don't want a dead tree
We don't want a dead tree.
with like all the things falling off,
Right, the pine needles and
pine
stuff, right?
needles.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes, pine needles falling off and stuff. And then of course if a dry tree, with all the lights on them and stuff, it becomes a fire hazard as well. If it's,
Right.
It's not.
So it can be an issue if you don't maintain it, right?
It could be.
So everybody has their big juice bottle or water jug that they fill the tree with, and
Yeah.
make sure the base is, good and green.
Yeah.
Unlike that fire. Remember that tree we made for Magic of the Season at one time? Okay, so one time we bought a real tree for our decoration of Magic of the Season for the county building,
A real fresh tree.
a brand new tree,
Yeah.
and we burned it. Not gonna say where, in a neighborhood somewhere. We burned it.
Yeah.
Created a lot of smoke, and it was our display. And on the bottom of it, we put a fog machine, and so people in the county building were calling our upstairs office saying, "You guys' tree is on fire because it was burnt,
And you could
there's smoke
it
coming out."
smelled like it was burnt because it was actually
It was an
burnt.
actual tree that was burnt. Yeah.
So yeah.
Right. So Christmas tree safety, right? Make sure like I said, charging of the batteries, all the new toys. Make sure you have appropriate areas to charge things. Don't leave them on. That type of stuff, right?
Don't charge them on your bed or under your blanket,
Right,
stuff
right.
like that.
Christmas trees. I noticed we had a fire once, I remember, and a kid was staying with his dad, plugged in the hoverboard, and kind of left in his room near blankets or whatever. And then he left the house for the
Oh
weekend.
boy.
You know what I mean? Because, okay, you're going back to your mom's or whatever it was, And so,
Yeah.
and then the gentleman's house caught on fire. And because that thing was just heating up and it was under a blanket, and the dad had no idea that they were charging that thing there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's always
a real
it's
danger.
safer. Yeah, it's safer. Charge them while you're awake. You know,
Yeah.
don't leave things,
Yeah,
overnight.
nothing real
unaccepted.
combustible, like a dry, hard place to
Yeah.
put them on.
Yeah. But then that's Christmas. So at the end of December comes our super favorite holiday, which is
New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve. And we tried to get Kamaki on today. He's our fireworks auditor, so he's the guy in charge of permits, but he did not show up today. So if you see Kamaki Iona in public, go, "Hey, how come you skipped out?"
Where you was.
Where you was. That's what you should ask him, okay? So
Supposed to be here.
Yeah, you're supposed to be here talking about fireworks, right? But so fireworks
Kamaki,
safety is
though.
always a big one, right? Because people, they give them as gifts sometimes.
Yeah.
They're in the stores, right? And unfortunately for us, there is always an element of safety that we have to be aware of. Because last year, they had that big thing on Oahu where
Oh yeah.
guys were kind of making, I don't know if they made their own
I
thing
don't know
or
the whole story, but yeah.
it wasn't legal fireworks, I'll put it that way.
Yes.
So, be prepared. Like I said, stay within the guidelines, use the stuff that you can get in the tents in the stores.
Yeah.
Some people were using stuff and I think a few people actually died.
Yeah.
From that,
I believe
right?
So yeah.
Yeah, I think it was
It's
3 people, if I remember correct. Yeah,
A lot
so-
of people got really seriously injured. Too.
Right. What happened? Yeah, so I think that's a big one too, right? Is
Yeah.
some people try to make, we were all we all did as kids. We're like, oh, let's put powder.
Let's
But
make
now that we know so much about it, right? I mean, we know that it can be really dangerous.
Yes.
Obviously, since we were kids, a lot of neighborhoods have become more dense.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more people in our neighborhoods now than when we were kids. So, you know, just being aware of fireworks safety, right? Because unfortunately, you know, it is what it is. We do our best to try and encourage people to use branded fireworks.
Yes.
You know, use stuff
Unaltered,
that's unaltered, you know, be
fireworks.
safe. So even with fireworks, right, when we get, you know, you go and get the fireworks from the store or the tents or wherever they have them. But let's go over a couple of tips I think that we could share with people that would help them use that, be more safe with it, right?
Yeah.
Because
maybe start off with getting a large garden hose in the area, you know, in case it lights some grass on fire and stuff.
Right.
You can easily turn it on and put it out.
right.
Or even buckets of water too.
Okay.
Just in case you can't reach where the fire is,
Mhm.
you can just carry your bucket of water and dump it on the fire.
Right.
Yeah, and always have somewhere you can, where all the used fireworks are stored as well.
Because one of the things we were talking about is having, you know, even, you know, one of those metal pail trash cans or something like that filled with water where when the kids are done with the fountains or whatever, you kind of, you know, every so often we take a break, right? We tell the kids,
Yeah.
hey, break. And then
Clean up
we
time.
can clean up a little bit and put the stuff in the water so it has time to cool down, make sure it's not going to be a issue,
Yeah.
you know, especially on the other side of the island, right? In Hilo, I mean, most of the time we get rain.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times on New Year's Eve, right? But you know, for the other side of the island, I mean, it's super dry right now. I mean, it's been crazy dry. I mean, we've had tons of brush fires. You know, just being aware that these things can cause a lot of damage if, you know, you set them off or let them off into the, you know, wilderness or whatever, right? It can cause a really big incident for us.
Oh, yeah.
We've had a few, you know, caused by fireworks that have been multi, you know, day, week incidents where we're fighting brush fires and stuff. So, and not to mention that, you know, people's homes and
it's
livelihoods.
started by one little firework.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right. So be real careful, you know, when you're using those things, right? Obviously. And that's, you know, that's always something that we're
always
concerned
under adult supervision as well. Just make sure.
Make sure someone is watching the children.
And the people that act like children. Adults act like children.
And the adults that are not mature enough once that evening hits. Yeah. Just make sure, you know, everybody's safe. We're trying to make sure everybody's safe. I mean, really, you know, the less incidents we have of fires, and not only that, just people getting hurt in general.
Yeah.
I think that night, you know, we're always trying to make sure people can enjoy the holiday safely.
Yeah, I know some of them say don't hold in your hand, and there's a reason you shouldn't hold in your hand. It might explode in your hand. You might get hurt. So,
yeah. So
follow the safety instructions on the firework.
Should be good, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So gone over a few tips. Christmas, remember, you see him, ask him what he got his wife for Christmas. Okay.
Only got like a couple weeks left. So
Yes.
I better get on it.
Okay. Anyways,
Sorry.
So we thank you guys again. Like I said, we're always grateful for everyone in the community that helps us keep the community safe and shares all of our tips and people we see in the public. So once again, thank you for another edition of the Fire Prevention Party.
I am Officer Kaipo Aurello of the Hawaiʻi Police Department, and I am here to ask for your assistance in locating individuals who you will see in just a moment. Our department depends on you to work with us by acting as our eyes and ears out in the community. If you provide an anonymous tip through Crime Stoppers, you may be eligible for a reward of up to $1,000. Crime Stoppers is a volunteer program run by ordinary citizens like you who want to keep our community safe. Here's how it works. First, get a code. Next, use your code to track your status and then collect your reward. It's that easy. Here are some individuals we need your help in locating. Please call if you know their whereabouts. We are looking for 37-year-old Aaron Kaolovi, who is wanted on one outstanding warrant with a total bail amount of $20,000. Kaolovi is described as having a heavy build, about 6 feet tall, 350 pounds, with black hair, brown eyes, and a large Polynesian-style tattoo covering his right forearm. Kaolovi's last known address is in the Waimea area, and he is known to frequent the Waikoloa Village and Waimea areas. Help us locate 29-year-old Joshua Kīlauea, who is wanted on a $2,000 warrant. Kīlauea is part Hawaiian,
5 feet 7 inches tall, 150 pounds, with brown hair and hazel eyes. His last known address was in the Waimea area, and he is known to frequent the Waikoloa Village and Waimea areas. We are looking for 44-year-old Jamie Ross Kerr, who is wanted on 3 outstanding warrants with a total bail of $850. Kerr has an average build, is 6 feet tall, 175 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. His last known address was in Waikoloa Village, and he is known to frequent the Waikoloa Village and Waimea areas. We are looking for 43-year-old Ko Race Joaquin of Honoka'a, who is wanted for a $50,000 arrest warrant. Race Joaquin is 5 feet 7 inches tall, 150 pounds, with black hair, brown eyes, and numerous tattoos on his face and body. He is known to frequent the Puna, Hamakua, and Ko'u districts and should be considered armed and dangerous. Help us locate 39-year-old Casey Hui Assam, who has 2 outstanding warrants totaling $35,000. Known to frequent the Honoka'a and Waimea areas, Hui Assam is 5 feet 10 inches tall, 190 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Be on the lookout for 26-year-old Erosen Amaro Trujillo Ramos of Captain Cook, who is wanted for an outstanding grand jury indictment warrant. He is described as 5 feet 8 inches tall, 160 pounds. Please help us locate 43-year-old Adam Nacionales, who is wanted on 2 arrest warrants totaling $100,000. He is 5 feet 9 inches tall, 200 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Nacionales is known to frequent the downtown Hilo and Wainaku areas. We are looking for 39-year-old Keali'ioke Kamanu, who is wanted for 2 outstanding warrants and 4 APB alerts. Kamanu is described as having a medium build, 5 feet 11 inches tall, 180 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He frequents Lower Puna area, mostly in the vicinity of Kalapana and Leilani Estate subdivision. Please help us locate 33-year-old Christopher Matos, who is wanted on 3 outstanding warrants and 6 APBs. Matos has a large build, is 5 feet 11 inches tall, 195 pounds, with short black hair and brown eyes. He is known to frequent the Lower and Upper Puna area. Matos is also known to be armed and dangerous and should not be approached. Please help us locate 28-year-old Johnson Heckers, who is wanted for questioning regarding multiple vehicle theft investigations. Heckers is described as 5 feet 7 inches tall, 150 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He is known to reside in the Ocean View area. Please be on the lookout for 44-year-old Ross Piper of Ocean View, who is wanted on 1 outstanding warrant totaling $2,000, as well as for questioning relative to multiple criminal investigations involving auto theft. Piper is described as 5 feet 9 inches tall, 165 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Call us if you know the whereabouts of 39-year-old Kendrick Sanders, who is wanted for questioning for multiple criminal investigations involving violating a temporary restraining order. He is described as being 5 feet 11 inches tall, 180 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. Sanders is known to frequent the Ocean View and South Kona areas. Be on the lookout for 34-year-old Kira Lazar, who is wanted for an outstanding warrant totaling $50,000. Lazar is described as being 5 feet 9 inches tall, 130 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. She is known to reside in the Ocean View area.
As always, we want to thank you for your assistance in helping us to locate these individuals. Tipsters who prefer to remain anonymous may call the island-wide Crime Stoppers number at 808-961-8300 and may be eligible for a reward of up to $1,000. Crime Stoppers does not record calls or use caller ID. Hawaii Island's Most Wanted is a project of Crime Stoppers Hilo, Inc., which is a partnership of the business community, the media, and the police. It was inspired by the national TV show America's Most Wanted. I am Officer Kaipo Aurello of the Hawaii Police Department. Mahalo for watching.